Welcome to Seven River Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson. Each week, an inside look into sports, into wellness, and into fitness. Well, this week, two talented student athletes from Aquinas High School that just graduated. My guest this week, Elizabeth Horstman and Gracie Malin. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
I said student athletes from Aquinas High School. Define, Elizabeth, what it means to be a student athlete at Aquinas High School.
Well, mostly it's kind of time management, just like getting your homework done and like keeping up with classes, as well as like performing well in sports. And you have to kind of think school first and then sports, because you want to make sure you maintain good grades but also perform well in sports.
Have you always felt comfortable living up to that explanation that you just shared?
Sometimes it's hard. Like this year, there was a lot of homework just with the classes I was taking, so it was kind of hard to make sure that I had enough time, but I think that I managed my time pretty well this year, but sometimes it can be more difficult.
Student athletes are a little bit on a pedestal, meaning that it's a gift, and there's a lot of expectations. And good student athletes are hard on themselves. Are you hard on yourself, Gracie?
I have my moments. When we play games, I have a high expectations of how I do during the game, and if I don't live up to those expectations, I am a little hard on myself, in both after and during the game.
A student athlete from Aquinas High School, how would you define that phrase?
Well, I say it's making friendships and having many unforgettable memories. You play with the same people for multiple years and you get to know them, and I think it's an amazing experience to just play with your friends and make lifelong friends.
The mission statement of Aquinas High School, which a lot of people probably do not know, reads like this: a Christ-centered learning community. The mission being to inspire, encourage, and challenge students in the Catholic tradition of faith, service, and academic excellence. A mouthful, isn't it?
Yes.
Did that just describe you, Gracie?
I'd say so, yeah.
What resonates? Which part of that mission statement describes you?
Learning Christ. Definitely found myself through sports in many ways. Going through good and bad times, fighting through everything, finding God, just everything. I don't know.
Going through good and bad times, all of us do.
Mm-hmm.
You've had some tough times, everyone has, but how have you been able to overcome that?
It takes time, lots of time. Talking to friends and talking to family is a big thing. Trying to fix your mistakes and learning from them is probably the biggest one. You feel sorry at the moment, but over time goes by, you kind of realize that you did make a mistake and you have to get over it. And that comes with life too, and that's probably the biggest.
Talking to your friends, talking to your coaches, you haven't had many of those setbacks. Your profile indicates that you've had a tremendous high school experience, no question about it.
Mm-hmm.
Elizabeth, the Catholic tradition of faith, service, and academic excellence, do they all pertain to you?
Yeah, Aquinas has done a really good job with keeping those three things present in school. They have a lot of opportunities for us to volunteer with impact or interact groups, because it's like a club that we can go to and we can sign up to volunteer around the community. And it's nice because we have a religion class every day and we have prayer and mass services during the week too, so that's nice.
You know, some other previous Aquinas student athletes been on the show and have talked a little bit about impact, and that is an acronym for a club that does just what you said. The service component of Aquinas is pretty powerful, very similar to the service aspect of Viterbo University. Describe for our viewers what impact is.
So it's a small organization that one of the Aquinas students actually organized at school, and basically it's where you go and have meetings once a week, and you talk about things that you could do for the community. Like this year they had fundraisers for at school for children in hospitals to donate money to them. And we also visit nursing homes and work in the Kane Street Gardens for service, and it's just nice to help the community through impact.
Life lessons, a big part of athletics, big part of academics, big part of just growing in our journey through life. Takeaways, life lessons as a student athlete at Aquinas. What would that be?
Learning from your mistakes, time management, getting along with everybody no matter who they are is a big one. And I would just say learning from your mistakes is the biggest.
How about overcoming drama? Is there drama? That's a rhetorical question because there's drama everywhere, but there's drama in schools and those that succeed usually take the high road and move away from drama. Is that you?
I wish it was. Sometimes I fall guilty falling in with drama, but how I get out of it is what I try to get out of it. You know, takes a lot of time. I think it's who you surround yourself with, for the most part.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
We are, our success in our journey through life is determined in many ways by who we associate with. Like in the book of Proverbs, iron sharpens iron. You've always surrounded yourself with good people. Isn't that right, Elizabeth? And how has that helped or changed you?
Well, I have to thank my parents for that because they have a good morals and know good people who they've surrounded me with, and it's helped because I've had a lot of role models in my life who teach me right from wrong and tell me when I'm doing wrong, and helps me fix things that I might be doing wrong and that I should work on, and it's just been nice to have people like that in my life.
You're at an elementary school, St. Pat's, Blessed Sacrament, one of those schools, and you're talking to 3rd, 4th, 5th graders, and you're telling them about the Aquinas experience, and you're convincing them or encouraging them to enroll and continue their religious education at Aquinas Middle School and Aquinas High School. What do you say?
I'd say that there are amazing teachers and people that they teach you to be who you are and be the best that you can be, and it's one of the best experiences because not only do they surround you with faith and good education, you're also surrounded with good people, good teachers, good friends, and I think that everybody may have their groups, but together, in the end, people do come together, and they do end up loving each other. Teachers,
Elizabeth, all of us have had, good teachers, not so good teachers, excellent teachers, and I've had many of the same. And so you're looking for a prototype of a teacher that you really admire, that you'd want your kids to be in that class, or a coach. Same thing, teacher, coach. It's the same mission. Describe the kind of teacher that you really endear yourself to.
Well, there are quite a lot of good teachers at Aquinas, and Probably a big thing for me are teachers who really like care about you outside of school and make sure that you're having a good experience in high school, and like they're willing to help you even like before school hours, so they're willing to stay late to help you so that you succeed. And I think like not only like caring about you in school hours, but also like how you're doing outside is a big thing that I look for in teachers.
You've played for a lot of coaches too, Gracie. Describe the characteristics of the coach that you really thought was special.
Some coaches that made me personally feel special are the ones that told me my weaknesses and the ones who pushed me to be the best I can be every day.
So they were honest with you.
Yes.
And they had
Very
high
honest.
expectations. We all like that.
It pushes you in many ways, not just athletically, but how you treat others, being good teammates, being a leader is probably the biggest one. The coaches, my favorite coaches are the ones that discipline or the ones that tell you what's good or bad. So like you said before, honesty.
You want people, you want your coaches, teachers to try to elevate your game, elevate yourself in the classroom, and not settle for mediocrity. And both of you have not settled for mediocrity in any aspects of your life, and that's why you've had a successful high school experience, haven't you? And that's why you're on the show. So we're going to take a quick break, and we come back more with our guests here on Seven Rivers Sports.
With our busy lives, it's a comfort to know that we can still remember loved ones in a traditional way with a monument. Lewiston Monuments in Lewiston, Minnesota has been helping families purchase a monument for over 4 generations. You'll find a large selection of beautiful granite, marble, and bronze monuments, all at competitive prices. And they're a full-service company, so they also do straightening, cleaning, and repair of monuments. Stop in or call for a no-obligation consultation, or visit lewistonmonument.com for more information.
At Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we have assembled a championship team
who listens to what your needs are.
We install carrier comfort systems that improve the comfort, efficiency, and the air quality of your home and workplace.
We serve you with highly trained technicians who are prompt, friendly, and honest.
For Gold Star treatment, turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, your comfort is our business.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports. Again, guests this week, Elizabeth Horstman, Gracie Malin, Aquinas High School, just graduated a couple of weeks ago. Well, I talked to your softball coach recently, Coach Gillis, and here's what he said about Gracie. One of the most outstanding players to ever play at Aquinas High School. Amazing skill set both on offense and defense. Thoughts?
That's very sweet of him. I don't know. That's really kind of him.
Is he being honest?
Well, I don't like to gloat or whatever the word is, but I've had successful years, but I think he might be over-exaggerating a little bit.
I doubt it. I think he seemed like a pretty honest guy, and I got to know him. Here's what he said about Elizabeth Horstman, a great 4-year starter, one of the most reliable and gifted players who shined the brightest against the best, and when the pressure was on. That's a good statement.
Yeah, I don't know about shine the brightest when the pressure was on, because I got nervous a lot, but I think I grew a lot over the years. So.
Did you have a game day routine? Something like a lot of athletes do certain things, whether they meditate and focus and do things to help them get through a game and be their very best.
Whenever we would drive ourselves to games, I would usually just play music really loud and just like relax and like calm myself before the game. But
I hope it was a nice kind of music that I like country western.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't think it was. But did you have the windows down like I see sometimes and blaring the kind of music that just every car going down the street just pulls over and almost have a crash into the building next to him? You don't play that kind of music.
No, not at all.
No. I imagine, Gracie, too, as deep as you are, you have a game day routine to get yourself mentally ready.
No, I wouldn't say I have a routine, but as a team, before every game, we get together in a circle and every single player says what they're going to do this game. For example, someone could say, I'm going to knock all the balls down, or I'm going to wait for the pitch, and then we clap after each person. I think that's something that each person does to get ready.
I like that. You wouldn't, so you had like 20 games or whatever it was, so you wouldn't say the same thing every game, you would change it.
Well, we try to. So we'd take something maybe we didn't do best the game before, and we'd say, well, I'm going to do it better this game, or something like that. That's
great. That's a good idea. So, yeah. And Gracie Malin, volleyball, softball, student of the month, all academic, all conference, and all district. Wow, you've accomplished a great deal. Did you ever think, as you entered Aquinas High School, that you would achieve all of that?
No way. Not at all.
Who inspired you when you were younger and said, Gracie Malin, you have a gift, and I think you're going to accomplish a great deal?
My dad is a big part of that. I wouldn't necessarily say he told me I had a gift, but he was the one who pushed me to continue softball every year, and he has been my coach for multiple years before high school, and if it wasn't for him or all my other coaches, I would not be where I am right now.
You said in your profile, too, that your grandfather has inspired you.
Mm-hmm. Both my grandparents, my grandfather and my grandmother, they have been very important in my life, my entire life. They live very close to me, so that's another plus. And they have always been the people to take me to my games, or they have just always been there supporting me every day.
Well, Elizabeth, you have quite a support network, too. And your family is, I mean, they're your biggest fans?
Yeah, it's even when I knew I wasn't going to play that game, like due to an injury, or like if it was really far away, like my dad and mom would always get there and be there to support the whole team, and it's really nice to have that.
And your brothers, and particularly Jake, who I know very, very well, he's a role model.
Yeah, he works really, really hard, and it's nice to have him as an older brother, just to see as I'm growing up, like how successful you can be if you work really hard. And he was a 3-sport athlete, and he got really good grades, and he's doing well in college, so it's a good role model to
He's
have.
been on the show, too. Third base, and in softball, you play tennis, on the leadership groups that you mentioned, National Honor Society, and so now you've graduated. What's next for Elizabeth Horstman?
Well, I'm working a lot this summer, and then I will be going to Edgewood in Madison to major in nursing and minor in psychology.
And someday be a nurse practitioner?
Yeah, probably work for as a nurse for a little bit, and then see if I like it and go back to school to be a nurse practitioner.
And now you're working part-time and getting your feet wet in that particular part of life, in that career.
Yeah, I got my CNA last summer, and I'm working as a CNA. I've been working since fall, so I'm doing that this summer as well.
Define leadership.
Leadership to me is putting differences aside. Doesn't matter who it is. Anybody can be a leader. It's just working together and realizing it's we, not I, and just wanting the best for each other.
You mentioned earlier that you had an injury. Was that difficult because you were out for a while?
Yeah, and it was kind of towards the end of the season, so it was hard not being able to play for a couple of weeks, and it was tough because I didn't think that it was as bad as it actually was, so it was kind of hard.
What's something that our viewers, by the way, our guests today from Aquinas High School, Elizabeth Horstman and Gracie Malin, what's something that our viewers would be like really surprised to know about you?
Uh,
Maybe it's the beginning of your athletic experiences.
I have no idea
I
what.
think because I remember seeing you play ball when you were like 2-3 years old.
Yeah. I don't know. I like trying new sports, so like that's one thing I'm willing to do in college is do intramurals, and like I've never played soccer before, I'll do that, or like any sport I'm willing to try.
Even t-ball, because you started playing t-ball when you were like 3 years old.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. I have pictures.
Because I remember that too. You're both deep student athletes, and a pleasure to interview. Do you have a favorite saying that maybe describes your philosophy in life?
I think it's Isaiah 43. It's just a verse from the Bible that says that basically God will be through you or with you through deep waters, like meaning that he's with you always. And it's kind of a nice thing to look at, because even in the hardest of times you realize that he's always going to be there for you, and it's hard to realize, but if it's his will, it will work out.
Have you ever been in deep waters?
Yeah, I'd say so. Whether it's in sports or school, like worrying about a test or like worrying about a big game that's coming up, it's nerve-wracking, and it's something that you have to kind of put your trust in God to help you through it.
And you've done that. What's something that people may be surprised to know about Gracie Malin?
Well, something I'm very interested in is sign language. That is all I can think of.
Really?
Yeah.
What inspired that?
Actually, the show Switched at Birth. Yeah, that's the show. They have a bunch of sign language in it because one of the girls is deaf. And ever since that I watched that show, I've been trying to learn sign language. It's pretty difficult, so I don't really know anything, but it's something I'd love to learn in the future.
Can you fit that into your curriculum at Edgewood College?
I'm not going to Edgewood. I'm going to Madison Tech.
Elizabeth's going to Edgewood.
Yeah.
I knew somebody on the set was going to Edgewood because I go there and referee.
Yeah.
But you're playing ball at
Madison Area Technical College.
Oh yeah, I go there too. By the way, good program there.
I'm very excited, but I hope it's something I could fit in. But if not, it'll be something I'll try. I'll for sure fit in when I can.
Good, and you're going to play softball there too? And
yes.
They recruited you, in other words.
Yes,
oh,
they did.
Well, good. And you're going to take that into a career in the medical field?
Yes, I want to be a medical administrator, so I will be going to the medical administration field.
And what's the I guess the most special thing about your career at Aquinas? What do you remember the most?
The friendships and the memories, winning big games, losing big games is a big one, and how my favorite ones are how we fought back during the times that we didn't believe we could. That was big to
And
me.
a saying for you that describes you?
Work what you, or I don't know how it goes, but it's basically you work for what you want, not what you wish for.
Yeah, two different things, isn't it?
Yeah. A lot of people wish that they could do this, they could do that, but they don't work to their potential to be that.
Is it a little scary leaving home and going to Madison to go to school?
I don't think so. I think that my parents have prepared me pretty well for being on my own, and I'm kind of excited to be on my own and start college and further my education.
Well, you might be ready, but are they ready to be empty nested?
Yeah, because I'm their baby, I'm the last child, so I don't know, but my niece was just born a couple of weeks ago, so they'll have a little baby that they can watch every once in a while, so that'll be nice.
I don't know if that will fill the void of Elizabeth Horstman being gone, but it could be. But one of your defining moments was your trip this past year at Aquinas, your softball trip.
Oh, yeah, we usually every other year the softball team takes a trip to Florida, but just like with conflicts in the past years we haven't, so this was the first year that our senior class has been able to go on the Florida softball trip, and it was really fun. It was like a good team bonding moment, and it was fun being able to play at the really nice complex that they have down there and be able to have games early on in the season to prepare us.
Well, it's been great to have you on. We always look for quality role models, student athletes that others can look up to, and when they see this show, they're going to be impressed with Gracie Malin and Elizabeth Horstman. And you're both in Madison Area College, by the way. They changed their name.
Oh.
And Edgewood College, so you're going to stay connected when you're in Madison?
Maybe.
All right, well, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. Good luck to you in the next chapter of your life.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be back with some closing thoughts right after this.
At Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we have assembled a championship team.
Who listens to what your needs are.
We install carrier comfort systems that improve the comfort, efficiency, and the air quality of your home and workplace.
We serve you with highly trained technicians who are prompt, friendly, and honest.
For Gold Star treatment, turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning. Your comfort is our business.
When you're faced with the decision of selecting a monument to honor someone dear to you, call Lewiston Monuments for a no-obligation consultation. Lewiston Monument is a full-service monument company, serving families in Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin for over 4 generations. You'll find beautiful granite, marble, and bronze memorials, all at competitive prices. Their experts can help you design the perfect and unique memorial. Lewiston Monument. Call today or on the web at lewistonmonument.com.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports. I hope you enjoyed our interview today. 2 Blue Gold student athletes, Elizabeth Horstman, Gracie Malin. 2 girls continuing their path to success. I'm looking forward to the Firecracker 4-mile run on July 4th as part of Riverfest here in La Crosse. We are blessed with an abundance of activities throughout the Coulee region in the summer months. I hope you can consider being part of those events. We are broadening our list of guests as we look for ways to improve our show for you, our viewer. If you have a suggestion for an upcoming guest or a topic, we'd love to hear from you. Check your local listings as we continue to bring you Knights of Thunder racing every Thursday and every Sunday evening at 7 p.m. Thanks for joining us this week. Next week, we'll introduce you to a very special athlete, UWL student Luke Bergner, just returning from a fitness event in Houston, Texas. Quite a young man. You will enjoy this interview. Until next week, I'm your host, Terry Erickson, hoping that you will have an active and healthy holiday week ahead.